Glenn McDonald, you need to sit down. You need to sit down. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started whether you're ready or not. We really got ready at the last minute for this presentation tonight, thinking that we might hear from Nancy Pelosi and it would be canceled. But luckily we're here and the show will go on. We're going to have, this is serious business now. I need to have your attention. This is serious. You ready? Yes, Alan. We are now going to have the presentation of colors, an invocation by Henry Hazard, and a pledge and the singing of the national anthem. The colors are being presented by the Naval Support Activity Panama City Honor Guard. Please stand. Parade the colors. Reverend Hazard.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, it's indeed a privilege to live in Bay County. This past year there have been some unique challenges, and yet by your grace, your wisdom, your help, we're going to come back better and stronger. We do pray you'd be with those who are still trying to put their lives back together. Encourage them, keep them, bless them. But Father, tonight we're here to honor those who've done many things. We want to thank you for the things that have been done and for those who did them. We now want to give honor to whom honor is due. At this point, we give you thanks for this time. We pray your blessing upon the food and the time we have together. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
We're now joining the Pledge of Allegiance led by Liam and Rosemary Kramer and the national anthem sung by Mia Carroll.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets echoed, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night
Post the colors. Please be seated. You know, in my brief time in the military, I never got people to respond like that. That was kind of fun. You know, I miss the sounds of the F-22s. Do you miss the sounds of the F-22s? And I was so excited to hear in my neighborhood the sounds of chainsaws being replaced with the sound of nail guns. I got to know my neighbors. I know when they got new roofs. I was so excited. It was a wonderful time. Are you excited to live in Bay County? I'm excited to live in Bay County. Are you excited about the future of Bay County? We have got a lot of work to do, but I'm still excited about we're going to have a new and better Bay County after we get through with it. We're starting reconstruction of our law office downtown next week and can't wait to get back downtown by the courthouse. Seriously, Michael has made us focus on the things that are really important in life. Internet connections and cell service. Had no earthly idea how important that was. I evacuated for the only time I've ever done in all my years living here, and I went to Biloxi not to gamble just because there's a place I could park my motorhome. $100 is all I lost. But then I was in total out of communication, and it is a scary feeling. I was going to do a Jimmy Fallon kind of thank you note kind of thing, but I realized that there's so many people to thank that it would be stupid to even start on it. But there are two people or two groups I want to thank. The first one is Gulf Power. I saw Sandy Sims, and I'll tell you what, I just could not believe all of the power people that were here working from all over America giving us electricity. I bought two $1,000 generators in Gulfport, bringing them back. By the time I got in, I hadn't even cranked either one of them. I didn't need them. I had power. The other people I want to thank will go unnamed, but it's my cable provider. I want to thank them because I now have 3 really good, close friends in India. Y'all may have met them. You meet Mary or Sarah, or the last one, believe it or not, was Frank Lunn. I said, really, Frank Lunn? I've had some experience with that name. Do you like to be called Frank or Franklin? Frank Lunn. But Frank Lunn got me an appointment and got me Wi-Fi. That's all that mattered. Now we need to talk about and give everybody, the people that have given a lot of money, we got to give them credit, and that's our sponsors. Our presenting sponsors are GAC Contractors, Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick Cadillac GMC, Gulf Power Company, and Verizon Wireless. why Carol would put me under the table, I talked about the cable company, okay? No, I'm very happy. I got the best cell service in the world now with Verizon. Truly. I remembered why I had Verizon when he came back. I fully understood. Our platinum sponsors, Edgewater Beach and Golf Resort, Gulf Coast State College, Hand Arundel Harrison Sale, woo, the Panhandle Group, Venture Construction Group, the media sponsor, Cleaver Media Works, gold sponsors, Barron and Reading, PA, Community Bank, Early Education and Care, Florida Professional Law Group, Geico Insurance, NAI Talcor, Port Panama City, Century Public Adjusting, Sweet Bay, Summit Bank, Trustmark Bank, and West Rock. I would like to welcome all of our local elected officials. Hopefully we got your names, but some of you we may not have. Mayor Mike Thomas and the City Council members of the City of Panama City Beach, Chairman Griff Griffiths and the Bay County Commission, Mayor Greg Brudnicki, and the City Commission. Would all of you stand? We'd like to thank you for all that you do. And I'd also like to welcome a special guest, Senator George Gaynor. I didn't see George. Is George here? Great. Let me tell you something. I'm not a Facebook fan. You might have guessed that. But I feel like there are all of these people that get on a keyboard and they get a lot of courage and they jump on our public officials. And I believe that these public officials who had their own damage to their own businesses, the damage to their own houses, and they came forward and have worked day and night, not just the ones I mentioned, but the people in the other cities, like the mayor of Springfield operating the city out of his pickup truck, and Mayor Cathy had nothing in Mexico Beach to operate with. All of these people have done a wonderful job, and I really think, you know, you're going to make mistakes when you make decisions, but you got to make decisions if we're going to go forward, and we appreciate all that you do. And I think that we need to get a standing ovation to all of our elected officials. Now, so it doesn't go to all of their heads. Do you know the difference between Mike Thomas and the Pope? The Pope only requires you to kiss his ring. I hope we still represent you, Mike. I would also now like to recognize our friends from the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce and their staff and their board of directors who have joined us tonight. We thank you for attending and being part of this great event. And of course, I've saved the best for last. That's our active duty military and veterans. Would you all stand and be recognized? You know, I was told that this is the largest crowd we have ever had for this chamber annual dinner by like 170. There must not be anything to do and you're all here. It's just amazing. We're glad to have you. I've also learned that humor is still in Bay County. My secretary brought in, she was riding down 388, and she turned around and took a picture of a marquee in front of I won't tell you which church, but a church out on 388. And the marquee says, staying in bed shouting, "Oh God," does not constitute going to church. Humor is alive and well in Bay County. That's real. That's not made up. I may have to look in going to that church. They got the right attitude. Okay, now we got to move on with the show. Here comes all the ads you came for. Doug Moore, when I first knew Doug Moore, he was a recovering lawyer working as a banker. Now he's a recovering banker working as a lawyer. I don't know what he's going to do when he grows up, but he has been the chairman of the board for 2008. He's done a wonderful job, and I want to introduce him so that he can give you a report and make some other presentations. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. If you're wondering about the coat, last year when Claire was wearing her dress, I was told I was underdressed, and so I decided I would step up my game. Well, thank y'all. And Will and I were trying to figure out what to do, and so we walked in and we saw these tuxes and we said, oh, hell yeah. So, unfortunately, y'all are stuck with it tonight. Really, I want to just say thank y'all. It's been a great year. We're about to recognize Chamber Member of the Year, a Chairman's Award, and the Lauren Merriam. But what I want to say real quick is thanks to each and every one of y'all for being here. Thanks to each and every one of you for committing. During the storm at the EOC, Carol and Will and I had a conversation. We were debating whether to have this or not, and Will and I looked at each other and kind of reading each other's minds and saying, no, our community needs this. We need to do this. And you being here is proof that we made the right decision. So thank y'all very much. I want to start recognizing last year's chairman, this year's MAC chairman for 2018, Ms. Claire Sherman. All right, last week we did this, and I wasn't told to say anything, and I was told not to say anything today, but I'm going to, because I'm almost a has-been, and so I'm not worried about getting in trouble as much. But in all seriousness, this award is presented. Claire has done a phenomenal job working with both of our military bases, and we just want to present this in recognition of all the hard work you did in 2018.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Oops, sorry. Apologize for that. Well, I want to thank you, Doug, and thank you for everything that you've done this past year. It's been incredible. Been an incredible, fun year. I will have to say that the past 5 years has been very fun, been very educational, been very challenging, full of meetings, full of appointments. You imagine it has been fun, but just like every other chairman that's come before me, everybody has always said that the MAC chairmanship year is the icing on the cake, and I could not agree more. It has been a fabulous year. But tonight's not about me. Tonight is about the local military seated at our MAC table, to my left, to your right. To the people, to the men and the women that they represent here tonight, the ones to be recognized and commended for their service to our country. I'd like to ask the members at the MAC table to stand once again and be recognized once again for your incredible service to our nation. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank the Joint Forces Honor Guard tonight for their service this evening. Would you give them another round of applause for time that they've taken out tonight? The MAC chairmanship has been most gratifying this past year. I built friendships that I would have never been able to have the opportunity to build. I've learned firsthand the valuable missions of our bases and their significant role that they play in our nation's defense. Locally, both our military installations play an essential role, not only economically, but also through their individual community involvement, and in addition to their spouses' involvement in our workforce. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything that you add to our community and everything that you do for our defense. I could not end tonight without recognizing the Bay Defense Alliance. They're diligently recruiting new military missions to our community, to our bases. They preserve, protect, and enhance missions at both of our installations. The defense industry in our community continues to grow, and I thank each member of the Bay Defense Alliance and each one of our members in our chamber for everything that you do in support of our defense. Thank you, and I appreciate this honor to serve you as chairman of the board and then also as MAC chair. Thank you.
All right, my phone was blowing up with text, so I'm either in trouble with Carol or y'all are having fun with me. Probably a combination of both. Next, we're presenting the Chamber Member of the Year Award. And, you know, it's an interesting thing. When I first began attending these dinners, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a clue. I moved here a week from today. I'll have been here 9 years. And so I didn't have a clue as to who anybody was. And it was always interesting as I continued attending these, trying to figure out who it was. And tonight, I'm going to try and slow roll it a little bit so this person doesn't figure it out and hopefully enjoy the suspense a little bit. But as chairman, it's my privilege to pick the Chamber Member of the Year. And for those of y'all who've worked with Carol on this isn't something that's a last-minute thing. These conversations begin early in about June, July of the year, and we start talking about it. But amazingly enough, when the conversation began, we both mentioned the same person. And throughout the year, this person, their actions, what they did, confirmed our decision. You know, I've come to respect this person not only, and forgive me, Senator, I was told last year not to read, make sure you have it memorized. I do, and forgive me, but this is important to me because of what this person has done, so I'm going to read this right now because I don't want to mess it up. I've come to respect this person for not only the strength of their character, but also their willingness to listen to others who could be considered a pain, noise, or distraction. Some would say they have the patience of Job, just to ensure they aren't missing anything and to allow the other party to know that they have been heard. Those who work with them will tell you that they listen more than they speak, but if you ever step into a meeting and they speak, you better listen, especially when they use this phrase, "Let me be clear." However, their question of what if after one meeting with the federal courthouse is why we honor them tonight. While some might think this award is given due to the leadership during Hurricane Michael, it only confirmed in my mind that this was the right person to honor. From their involvement in presenting the solution to save the courthouse, to seeing the benefit of Next Site and getting the county involved in that as well, partnering with the chamber, and working to maintain the county's fiscal discipline, they have been instrumental in looking for ways to better our community and help us build a better bay. And I doubt there's any question, but if there is any question in his mind, I'm going to dispel it now because he's a fan of the best baseball team in the world and last year's World Series champs. Ladies and gentlemen, would you help me welcome and thank 2018 Chamber Member of the Year, Mr. Bob Micah.
Thank you, Doug. I got to point out the tux, but those of you that haven't seen the shoes, we were giving them a little bit of grief. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say go Sox. Glad to be joined here tonight by my mother and my son, my brother, and my daughter, and my wife, my wonderful wife who's in the audience tonight, who none of this would be possible without her every day. She's a great critical thinker, those of you that know her. Keeps me grounded, great sounding board, helps me to think things through day in and day out. So I appreciate this very much. Have a great staff, 600 people that work for us that are the most resilient, the most dedicated personnel who are out there every day continuing to serve their community. Over 400 of them have had some type of significant damage to their home or to maybe their spouse's business, and we've been blessed that we've lost less than 1% of our total overall staff as a result of the storm. And I'd like to think that's because Bay County is a great place to work as an organization, certainly a great community to live in. None of this would be possible without my upbringing, without strong family values, without friends in the community. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Sheriff Ford. He's back here. Give him some. There was a point in time in the EOC during this response that he and I were back to back, and we were fielding questions from our staffs and making decisions on the fly. And we got done. We thought we'd maybe been there for about 15 or 20 minutes, and come to find out it had been the better part of 2 or 3 hours. So it's great relationships like that. Carol and her staff at the chamber, I can't tell you enough about Doug, Taylor, all those individuals that were there. They have a specific function in the EOC, and it's very easy to become disoriented and overwhelmed with the amount of information. It's almost like the floor of the New York Stock Exchange when an EOC is in full activation. And Carol and her staff were awesome. There wasn't anything that they wouldn't step up and do if we needed it, and that was across the board. Our county commissioners were there. That's a rarity in disasters. A lot of my peers throughout the state, their county commissioners don't participate in the EOC operations. I'm proud to tell you that every one of your county commissioners was there. They were present. They were there day in and day out. They were also taking care of their families, their businesses. A number of them have lost their homes, and their families have been impacted as well. But Robert Carroll, for example, I think he ran and got 60,000 flyers one day. We had to go to, I think it was Walton County or something, to be able to get flyers printed so we could get information out to the public after the storm. But whether it's the courthouse project, whether it is emergency management, I've been blessed. I learned a long time ago from my father, who was an officer in the Air Force, that the job gets done by your enlisted personnel. And you need to listen to your sergeants and your corporals. They're really where it takes place. Very proud of both of my children, my daughter, who just graduated from Gulf Coast and is now at FSU. Trying to figure out what I did wrong in a previous life for that, but no, very, very proud of her. My son is now at Gulf Coast, and he's recently returned home from the Navy, and very proud of him. Again, my mother, who has always been there through thick and thin, through all of this. Any of you that have ever worked a job on call, as a single parent, when these two very fine, upstanding individuals were children, my parents were both there day in and day out, when I was the chief on call and had to drop them off so I could go and cover my responsibilities in the community when, somebody else may need our assistance. So, again, thank you very much. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Certainly want to recognize the county commission. Thank you for bringing me home. Spent a couple of years in Cocoa Beach, but there's no better place to live than Bay County. We will be better, and thank you.
Somebody can stand on that if they want. Next is the Chairman's Award. The Chairman's Award is something that it's an award that's not presented very often unless an individual or a group of individuals do something extraordinary, and this person most definitely fit that bill. Our award winner moved to Northwest Florida in 2012 and didn't waste any time getting involved and working in their field of expertise, They worked to help create Northwest Florida and to promote it and market it as a thriving hub and a wonderful place to do business. To accomplish what he did, he served on numerous boards, from the Florida Chamber of Commerce to Enterprise Florida to the Florida Council of 100. He was one of the original appointees to the Florida Triumph Board and worked for 3 years to help get that stood up, and worked through a lot of different things going on in Tallahassee before it actually got stood up and made sure that it happened. He worked with and created a team and did a wonderful job. And when talking about the person's leadership, sorry, it's just interesting to me, and forgive me, this is an aside and I'm gonna be in trouble, but what this person did and how they got involved when they moved here is a phenomenal thing. Is they started working on a plan. You're gonna figure out real quick who I'm gonna be referring to in a second, but they came in with what they do. Storms are their business, preparing for storms, working through storms, knowing what needs to be done, because what they do is at the backbone of our modern world. And he would go out with his team and he would work his plan, and he would send his people off to other places in storms and different things to be able to tweak his plan, to figure out what made sense, what worked, what didn't. And folks, I think y'all are gonna have to agree with me that tonight's award winner that we're presenting the Chairman's Award to, his team and what he did to prepare them is a phenomenal response. If you haven't figured it out by now, tonight's award winner is Mr. Stan Connolly, the past president and CEO of Gulf Power. If you would please come on up. Mr. Connolly is currently serving as Executive Vice President of Operations for Southern Company.
Well, good evening. Anybody that knows anything about Gulf Power Company, I feel like I needed to lead off with a safety briefing there, particularly after what almost just happened. Thank you for being safe the rest of the evening, too. Far be it from Alan Bentz to have anybody do anything with an alternative motive. Tonight is not what I thought I was here. This is not what I thought I was here tonight for. But look, I got to tell you, when I moved here in 2012, you heard that, I met two incredible men, incredible gentlemen, incredible leaders in this community, and Alan Bentz and Bill Kramer. I actually interviewed in an upstairs conference room in Bill Kramer's Chevrolet, right across from Bill's office. They had to vote to bring me here, right? So this interview needed to go really well. Thankfully it did, and I need to thank both of them up front for even having an opportunity to have this conversation tonight. This community, I think, more than any, probably I worked alongside in the last 6-7 years, recognize there's no I in team. And I would tell you, I feel pretty inappropriate being in front of this group tonight because of the team that's sitting right over here to my right. And I'm not gonna probably be able to get through this conversation without tearing up. You know, over the course of 5 or 6 years, we did do some great things as a community, but it was a we. It's not an I. It's not about Stan Connolly. Really never was about Gulf Power Company. It was about getting this community to be more healthy. And, you know, I think about the team members. I've mentioned two already, and there's so many others in the community at FSU, the State College, Rebecca Harden, Wayne Stubbs. I mean, I could go around this community in so many ways and talk about how this community, all the elected officials, how you work together as a team. That's what has brought you here, and that's what's going to take this community out of what might be described as a tragedy and a real tough time, really to be a better community long run. Now, again, I feel highly inappropriate accepting this award because of the team that's over here to my right, and it's a team called Gulf Power Company. So I've got the microphone, and the speaker always told me to use the microphone wisely. I'm going to use it for a second. There's a lady by the name of Sandy Sims who's already been named. You need to do that. You know what Sandy does in this community. There's another lady at this table named Shelley Scarborough. Those two ladies, along with several others, are the ones that put that plan you mentioned in motion. They stayed here through the night, through the storm, through the wind. We could not find them for 12 hours. Now, as a leader, if you've ever been in that position, you realize what's on the line there, not knowing whether or not those two ladies and their teammates were going to be okay. But what I later found out is they put the mission into action immediately following that storm, and they harnessed the power of 7,500 people. There's another gentleman sitting at this table. His name is Petey Bailey. Petey made sure those individuals got fed, got housed, had everything they need. And look, there's another gentleman here, Chris Vick, who I've got deep respect. Everybody in the Gulf Power team had a role. I just had the blessing of getting to work alongside those folks. And it's the same way I feel about you in Bay County. I had the blessing of getting to work alongside you over the last 6 years to make this community better. And we worked hard for 5 or 6 years, and then came October. There's going to come a point in time, October will just be a date we all remember because it made us better. And this team right here, thank you. You're a part of helping make this community better. I'll end with this. I don't know if I'm unusual in our company or cursed, but I have been a part of 2 major events like this. I actually lived in Gulfport, Mississippi in Katrina. And I saw a community come back because they just pulled their bootstraps up and made it happen. And, you know, it's something that was amazing to me. Shelley actually experienced it. She was there too. I see that here. I see a community that's resilient. I see a community that doesn't look for handouts. They just work hard to come back. That's you. That's this team. That's us. And I'm just so honored to have been a part of that. Thank you for recognizing me, but it really is recognizing all of you with this award tonight. Thank you.
And now I would like to introduce our most prestigious award, the Lauren Merriam Award. And to present this is our 2011 winner, Mr. Glenn McDonald.
When I was standing backstage, walking out, I saw Will Kramer's daughter eating her dessert. That will be the best thing that I see all night. So thank you and good evening. Lauren Merriam was a special businessman in our community and a volunteer. Each year our chamber presents a new awardee to be recognized as the Lauren Merriam Award winner in his honor. The awardee is chosen based on their commitment to the community's well-being as exemplified by involvement in civic, charitable, and or other endeavors contributing to the betterment of Bay County and all of its citizens. All recipients of this award are selected by previous award winners. I'd like to start tonight by asking all of our past Lauren Merriam Award winners who are with us here tonight to stand and be recognized by this great crowd. Thank you all for all that you've done. Tonight's awardee was born outside of the United States in the 1950s. The family was in government service and traveled to where the job was located. During this time, they developed a love of travel and being outdoors. It was also during this time that they developed a deep love and appreciation for family. The community accomplished of this awardee are a reflection of their heart and their love for all that is Bay County. These include positions on our Bay County Chamber Board of Directors, culminating in MAC Chair, and was also named our Chamber Member of the Year. Economic Development Alliance Chairman, United Way Chairman, American Red Cross Chairman, and Ruby Cooper Award winner. Gulf Coast State College Foundation Chair, co-chaired the Heart Ball, and Gulf Coast Hospital Board Chair. Our 2018 awardee has literally done it all and then done a little more. Part of Lauren Merriam's personality was his sense of humor, making fun of himself, and we consider this trait in earnest each year when we're choosing who the award winner will be. We have seen our 2000 awardee dance on First Friday, dress as Elvis for United Way, dress as Santa Claus in numerous community videos, and wow us all with her sense of humor and humility. And now we have a very short video of their slick tap dancing moves from the late 1990s December First Friday.
So in the typical AmSouth First Friday tradition, we present the following.
Every time I see that video, it makes me laugh. Wasn't it surprising how young our CFO, Jimmy Petronas, looked in that video? I heard a few laughs out there. It was pretty good. Our 2018 award winner has raised their family here. Their 2 children have attended Bay District schools, played on numerous sports teams, and their spouse helps form a dynamic duo in our community and sets the real estate world on fire. They are truly a Bay County couple and family that everyone can be proud of. It is now my pleasure to introduce your 2018 Lauren Merriam Award winner, Mr. Joey Ginn.
Well, I didn't see this coming. You know, I should have known something was up when I get a call from Glenn McDonald a couple weeks ago. He said, you know, I'm sitting here with Carol Roberts, and we're looking through some pictures of Bill Hudson has. I went, that's never a good start. And then he said, is this you in a Santa suit with tap dancing cowboys at a First Friday function? I went, it could have been, Glenn. I mean, I dressed up as Elvis, as the Blues Brothers. It may have been, but anyway. This is such an honor. Awesome. Oh my God, my family's here. It really is truly an honor. And I look back at some of the past recipients. I know Alan Bentz is here. Richard died last year. I'm not sure I deserve to be in that group, but it's certainly an honor. What a great chamber. Great community we have here. I know Carol mentioned, I think we have 776 people here tonight, which is just awesome. But thank you so much. What a great award, and I'm certainly honored. Thank you.
Glenn, you're supposed to take your papers with you when you go. All right, we've reached that point. Congrats to all the award winners. Tonight, Kelly, I'm finally free. Not quite as busy as I have been. Thank you for all your patience over the last year, especially during the month of October when you said, "Are you ever coming out from the EOC?" But thank you for all your support. This I'm going to have to read because as I thought about this is my closing act. Words really fail me right now because this community has proven itself. I'm going to call you Mr. Conley because that's the way I was raised. But Mr. Conley mentioned the community. Everything I've seen, y'all have proven that if somebody's willing to step in line and to help, that y'all will accept them, will take them in, and will allow them to serve. Because never in a million years when I first moved here did I ever dream that I would be standing here before you right now, especially after Leadership Bay. Those of y'all who know that joke know why I say that. Yep, and Carol, I'm sorry, but that's part of the other reason why the blue tonight, I had to end on a high note. Forgive the pun, but this year was certainly a whirlwind. Yeah, I know, it's bad. But the achievements of our community and this organization have just really astounding. I mean, if you think about it, what we have done since the storm and where we are now, I can't tell you the number of meetings that I have sat in with FEMA representatives and others that they have continually said, your community is so far ahead of where all other communities are at this time. We have been ahead of their curve, which has been a little bit frustrating for us. And we're like, can't you get with the program and do what we do? I mean, we do. But separate from Michael and everything we did there, actually, I want to back up and say one thing, because this to me is the most important thing. And everybody's touched on it tonight. I attend Highland Park Baptist Church, and our pastor makes a comment that our church are not the physical buildings that we go to. It is those of us who come together as a community and worship. That's the same for our community here. Though our physical structures may be damaged, I told Will as this was coming together and we were given the head count, we made the right decision to do this tonight, for all of us to be here and to celebrate our current recovery, our ongoing recovery, and acknowledge the fact that we are going to come back. There's no two ways about it. You know, again, other than Hurricane Michael, the Chamber has been very busy on your behalf. We went over in February with 28 items that we were lobbying for on behalf of the county. Just a few of the highlights were safeguarding the bed tax money from use for infrastructure, encouraging the Florida Chamber to oppose offshore drilling east of the military mission line, reducing the business rent tax, working with the Water Management District on the FEMA flood maps. We hosted numerous roundtables from Congressman Dunn, Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam, Senator Nelson, Governor Scott, and our local officials, Senator Gaynor and Representative Trumbull. Our big win for the year, or should I say the past 2 years, was being awarded the federal courthouse and keeping it here. Folks, the layers and everything that was done, it was amazing, the can-do attitude on December 2016 when we first heard what had happened and what we did going forward to be able to accomplish this. All the parties that were involved, thank you to each and every one of you for what you did, because nobody accepted no for an answer. One item I definitely want to bring to your attention is after the storm, what your staff at the Chamber did. Right after the storm and when we were able to get coordinated and get together, your staff reached almost 1,000 companies here in Bay County, reaching out to them, letting them know what was going on, letting them know what resources were available to them, promoting them and letting people know that they were open. I wish you could have seen the work that Carol and her staff did from that exact same conference room on the second floor of Bill Kramer Chevrolet where they set up temporary shop. Right now, would Carol and the staff please stand and be recognized for the work that you did? And please, y'all, acknowledge what they have done for all of us. There are so many other events, but I do want to close in this part of saying, think about our First Friday for those of y'all that were there. Again, from people that were out of town that said that they couldn't get over how full that the Holly Center was at FSUPC. We live in a truly amazing community, and I just want to thank y'all for everything. In closing, one other group I want to recognize is our 2018-2019 Board of Directors. Would those of y'all please stand, and would y'all please recognize their service and effort on our behalf? From the bottom of my heart, thank y'all for everything that y'all have done to help this year go so. Hurricane notwithstanding, I'm humbled to serve with y'all. As I turn the program over to our incoming chairman, I ask that you show him the same support and encouragement that you've given to me. I know we're in excellent hands. Will has a servant's heart, and he is a very humble guy. I am very thankful over the last couple of years that I've gotten to know him. But I will have to say without hesitation that God so knew what he was doing when he lined Will be the chairman for the 2019 year. All of you that know him and his family know their commitment to this community, their servants' hearts, their willingness to lean in, and their willingness to serve. I have found Will to be a man of great integrity, incomparable wit, and ability to bring a light touch to a heavy matter. I am honored now to also call him my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, will y'all help me welcome our incoming 2019 chairman, Mr. Will Kramer. Dress up in a second. Again? Yeah. Not that we aren't already. Everybody had that moment. Oh my God. All right. So, this is the passing of the gavel. So this is what passes for passing of the gavel this year.
Looks good on you. Well, good evening. So, thank you, Doug. That was extremely kind of you. 2 years ago, the last time that both Doug and I were in the audience for one of these things, I was sitting right over there and I texted Doug and I said, "Thank God I've got 2 years to think of something nice to say about you."
He did.
That 2 years goes by fast, but fortunately, as I was backstage waiting to come on, I did find the emergency compliment generator on my phone. So, Doug, give me a minute. If Einstein could meet you, he'd be mildly to moderately intimidated. Doug, kids think you are the cool old person. Is that right, Kelly? Okay. One last one then. Doug, the FBI tapped your phone just to hear the sound of your voice. Exceptional leaders not only guide their organizations through their tenure, they also prepare it for success in the years following. Doug, you've left both the chamber and me better than you found us, prepared to take on the challenges of this year and the years to come. Thank you for your guidance, your encouragement, and your friendship, and congratulations on a memorable chairmanship. Now, I have a small token of my appreciation to give you. As Doug mentioned, he spent an awful lot of time at the EOC following the storm, and there he was working as a community liaison, and he was the guy with the green hat. So if you needed something, you went to go see the guy with the green hat. And I haven't figured out if that meant you needed water, if you needed power, you just needed a cup of coffee. But I felt like as a past chairman, you needed something a little more elegant than an old worn green baseball cap. First, a little bit of product placement right there with the Silverado. So from me and your friends at Ink Tracks, I got you a nicer hat. There you go. They go better with those shoes anyway. Show them your shoes, Doug. I don't think you've ever seen that. Yeah. So congratulations, Doug. And congratulations again to all of tonight's award winners. We all have big shoes to fill. Some are just a little fancier than others.
On that, I'm out of here.
Yeah, see you, Doug. So that's a phrase I've heard an awful lot in my life. Big shoes to fill. My grandparents, my parents, Bill and Carolyn, who are here tonight, my sister Emily, my brother Chris, who are also here tonight, they've all spent their lifetimes improving their community and the lives of others around them. I want to thank y'all for making the principle of giving back, or as we call it, civic rent, such a huge part of our family's DNA, showing me how to do it and allowing me to do it by serving as your chairman for the Chamber of Commerce this year, particularly when that means sometimes they wonder if I'm even still working at the dealership. I also want to recognize a few other people. Billy Don, who's here with his wife Debbie, worked with us for about 50 years. The last 12 of those years, I spent about an hour every day sitting in his office. And he didn't just teach me how to sell and fix cars and make money, but which he certainly did. But he also taught me not to take myself too seriously and how to have fun while you're doing whatever it is you're doing, which is what he called just let the fat side sag. I also want to take a moment to recognize and thank my mother-in-law, Dee Burdette. She's here tonight. Usually she's at home with the kids while Monica and I are here, so I'm really glad that you're here with us tonight. And finally, to my wife, Monica, my kids, Liam and Rosemary, who y'all got to see earlier. It's been a lot of late nights and short weekends, and there's gonna get worse before it gets better. But thank you for your patience, your support, and most importantly, for your love, and I love all of you very much. So I'm going to take one more minute of what Speaker Benz calls personal privilege. And my nephew, Max Boyle, is here from St. Mary's, Georgia, and he is spending his 9th birthday here with us tonight. And I'm sure you'll all agree that most 9-year-olds would rather be anywhere else on their birthday. So if you would, take a minute and let's sing happy birthday to Max. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Max. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. So, what's going on this year? If you've read our 2019 business plan, which I'm sure you've all read, you've seen the monumental task ahead of us. Our key objectives are business restoration and retention, commercial development, business continuity and disaster planning, all while continuing to support military, workforce, educational, medical, housing, tourism, planning, and infrastructure improvements. So, a lot. But we're not doing it alone. The beauty of the chamber is its diverse membership and its ability to bring an entire community together, to erase the lines that divide our various municipalities and county, and to achieve our common goal of making Bay County an even better place to call home. As we do this, we cannot forget to stop, take stock, and celebrate not only our survival, but our success and our progress, just like we're doing tonight. Sometimes we just all need to let the fat side sag. We have a hopefully once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to revitalize and refresh our community, not only for ourselves, but also to attract those who want to invest and grow with us. It's happening. Our phones are ringing every day with calls from individuals, realtors, developers, all looking for opportunities here. Our partners with Nextsite tell us they're talking with numerous national hotel chains and big box stores, all who want to come to Bay County. So, my motto for this year is the same as something my father wrote in a letter that was published in the News Herald following my grandfather's death in 1996. He closed the letter with, "Mindful of our heritage, we look forward to the future with optimism and enthusiasm." Bay County has always been and continues to be a very special place. And we now have the chance to do some really great things if we do them together. So if you, your friends, your family, or your business were affected by the storm, please stand up. That's everybody. Stand up. We're all standing here together. And together, we can build a better Bay County. Did not. Oh, I glanced it back there. That is awesome. We're having Wilhelmina. I like it. Yeah.
Each early morning I get up, read his column with my coffee cup, never ever stop.
right sunk to the professional actor stage. That's what I said in 1928, folks.
Mr. Rogers, you've been invited to speak at the Republican Convention in Kansas City. And you've also been invited to speak at the Democratic Convention in Houston.
Oh boy, the Democrats. They always have more fun at their conventions because they know they aren't going anywhere afterwards.
So, will you run for president or not, Mr. Rogers?
I sure will.
The elephant trunk and Democrat donkey will be down the train and sung. The day the people's victory is won. The spirit and spunky's gonna debunk the jibber and jump that they've been feeding us. Hooray for our favorite song.
You Democrats and Republicans, I'm asking for your vote. Well, I've got this debunk party with some new ideas to float. Don't ask me what my platform is, I leave that stuff alone. Cause no one keeps those promises as history has shown. I'll run a clean campaign and that will be my winning card. Considering the kind you've had, well that won't be too hard.
Mr. Chairman, the great Sooner State of Oklahoma, by clean sweep by acclamation, we proudly place in nomination. The great Sooner State of Oklahoma, cast its 22 votes.
William Pater Taylor Rogers. William Pater Taylor Rogers. William Pater Taylor Rogers.
The elephant trunk and Democrat donkey will be down the train and sung. The day the people's victory is won. The spirit and spunky's gonna debunk the jabber and joke that they've been feeding us. Hooray for our favorite song.